you're terrified when you're flying and everything. How does it feel to be the camera operator on a drone?
Oh, I like it so much better. I like it so much better. No stress for me. I don't have to be worried about this, worried about that. It's all like, yeah. All I had to do was do what I normally do. And I've operated robotic cameras for years before I started, freelancing and traveling and doing all that. So being able to just sit there with 2 thumb controllers and be able to do that, it was awesome. I loved it. And you guys, the 570 drone was great. Everybody that came along with 570 drone, awesome. You know what I mean? Gary, it was just fun.
This is Gary, and this is Tom. Tom is from Next Level Aerial Media down in New Jersey. What part of New Jersey?
South Jersey, the best part.
Today we're down in Philadelphia and we're shooting at a not quite undisclosed location. You can see the trees. Today the specs for the job required an Inspire 2, which is kind of a ridiculous drone. It is the entry level on the professional end. So the Phantom 4 Pro is the professional level on the consumer end. This one is the entry level on the professional end. So depending on how you have it rigged out, then you have like the Matrice 600, spreading wings, all the ones that are just like these big ridiculous kits. But this one, the Inspire 2, believe it or not, is a tiny drone compared to everything else. That's why people want it on set and to use on all these things, because even though it's way bigger than my Phantom 4 Pro, it's tiny compared to like an M600, which we'll do a review on one of those soon, or an overview, whatnot. This is not a review. One of the other reasons that we use the Inspire for a lot of projects, and the collective we as in filmmakers, is for dual operating. So you can grab that one. So one person is in control of the camera and the other person is in control of actually piloting the plane. So you could have one person just absolutely hyper-focused right in on the shot that they want to get, and we have the other person absolutely hyper-focused on making sure that drone goes where it needs to go. So the camera rotates independently on the bottom of the drone, and you'll see, we'll take off with it here in a couple minutes, and you'll see exactly how this thing works. What else should we know about this drone?
So with this drone, you're looking at a much more limited flight time than a Phantom 4 Pro because it can handle a larger payload. We have a fixed 15mm lens on this right now. We also have the capability to go for a 45, which we have in our case. The downside is, with a heavier payload, you're going to have the reduced battery life, but because it's a larger piece of equipment than what's on the Phantom 4 Pro, you're also going to have a much crisper image because more light will be let into the lens.
Yep, so you have a larger sensor. We're using a micro 4/3 sensor on this, and because it's an interchangeable lens camera, we get to swap out with some nice lenses. And today we have a 15mm and a 45mm Olympus lens, and they're pretty legit. This drone also uses 2 batteries. This drone has 2 batteries and still flies way less time than the Phantom 4 Pro. So on the Phantom 4 Pro, we have about 25 to 28 minutes of realistic flight time, rated for about 30 minutes. This one, we have about 20 minutes of being in the air before we have to take it down, swap batteries, charge everything up, and get it back in the air. So you have to buy a lot of batteries for this guy.
Just never get away from is the bat. You never have enough battery.
Oh my God, yeah,
And they cost, there's so much, but I mean, in the end, they're worth it. I started off with 1, I had to get 2 more, 3's like, I'm good now, but you just never have enough batteries.
Yeah, for average use, 3 batteries on the Phantom 4 Pro is solid, because it takes about an hour to charge one, and so you just keep them in a loop as long as you take your time in between launching the drone, so you can keep going. For this thing, you need about 16 batteries to really get you through a good afternoon of shooting, unless you have a decent amount of time to charge the battery in between takes.
One more thing I'll add about the Inspire series is that you can actually mount a 250 gigabyte solid state drive onto the drone itself rather than just the micro SD cards for increased storage capability.
Yeah. All right, so let's get this thing in the air and I'll show you what it can do.
Production isn't one person. It never is and it never will be. Filmmaking is not a one-person job. And when it is, it's more or less misery and lonely. You know what I mean? This is not an easy career. It's not a career for the faint-hearted or the weak-minded. And you have to be driven and motivated.
Now strike a pose to look badass.
Or like total dorks.
I would not just push it down.
Yeah, how does this...
How do we land it?
Go down a little bit lower.
Will it auto deploy?
It should be. It should stop you. All right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we knew what we were doing. Yeah.